Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
Probably you.
Thanks, John.
I'm joking.
Oh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Maryland Living Podcast. I'm John Reynolds. I'm here with my co-host Pete Fettig and Megan Burke. How's everybody?
Great.
Good.
Hello to you, John.
Good. I want to wrap this up kind of quickly, though, today.
Let's get going.
Yeah. I want to get home. I have a new show that I'm watching.
What is it?
It's called Beast Games, and I know Pete's watching
So
it, too.
good.
It's
Yeah.
my new favorite show. Do you, first of all, let's just back up. Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Yeah, I know who Mr. Beast is.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has more followers than our people in the United States of America.
Does he have more followers
YouTube.
than we have on our podcast?
By the trillion.
Really?
Yeah. So, okay.
He
So
literally
this
does
guy,
that. That's not even a joke.
All right, so Mr. Beast took 2,000 people, and he just started eliminating them.
He
and
built a
whoever-
city,
he
first
built a
off.
city. Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Well, where?
The winner gets $5 million.
That's
so
a lot
we
of
start
money.
with 2,000, we end up with $5 million.
And there's a lot of incentivizing along the way. I'll just say that.
Right. So there's
Okay.
a lot of things along the way.
Yep.
So basically,
I'm not hearing.
Well, you didn't watch Squid Game. That's what it's framed after.
Yeah, I didn't watch that
Which is,
So they kind
obviously
of-
no one dies in this, but
Okay.
it puts you in a lot of peril. You know.
so they go from 2,000 down to 1,000, okay? And they put them in this room, and they're standing on these platforms that have holes in them, and they just start eliminating random people.
Super high production
What, people
value.
just like dropping
Yes.
through the floor?
Yes.
Yes.
And they're
It is
screaming.
so-
It's great.
All right, that sounds
The production
Yeah.
value is through the roof. Like, that's what this guy is all about.
And so then they have to start working as teams.
Yep.
So they're like, okay, one person from your row has to drop, and you have to figure out who that's going to be. Somebody has to volunteer themselves.
Yep.
But then, so it progresses, they eliminate more people, and then he says, all right, you guys, I'm going to take as many of you that want to win a private island, a $1.8 million private island, and I'm going to take you there. If you lose, then you're going to be eliminated from the entire game.
Okay.
So they get, I think it's 10 people to the island.
We're not
So-
doing spoilers here, are we?
Oh.
Yeah, you
shoot.
should probably stop there.
Okay.
It is
Good
so
point, good point.
so, and he ends every show on like the hardest cliffhanger. So you were
Yes.
so anxious to get back and watch the next one.
It's Netflix, right?
No,
No,
Amazon
it's on
Prime.
Amazon.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it is so
It is. Yeah, it is so good.
We've been watching it at night with the kids, and we'll tell the kids, all right, one episode, but then we can't just watch one episode.
It is-
So we end up having to
it's
watch
so
some
good.
of the
How many
next
are there?
one.
How many episodes?
I want to say it's 10. I think it might
Wow.
be. Maybe it's 8 or 10. I don't remember. We watched them all, obviously, but
I can't even talk about how good it is.
it
It's
is.
So,
As soon as I started watching, I was telling you guys, and you listened. John still has.
I guess
it.
I kind of thought of it as like a show for kids, so
No,
I was
not at
surprised
all.
you were watching it, but it is family friendly.
It's Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is excellent. It
All right,
really.
I'll check it out.
yeah, you have to. and
Just
then
to see
report
people,
back.
like,
Well,
fall
here's
through
the
the
thing,
floor.
but
Yeah.
what I didn't expect, it restores a little bit of faith in humanity. I'll just say that. Like,
Really?
Kind
yeah,
of, kind of.
There's some
yeah.
there's some moments that are like didn't see that coming. I don't know.
Mr. Beast, he's sick though.
He is.
He came out
In
with
all the
some
right ways.
sick. Yeah,
Yeah.
like in an interesting.
And
like,
you haven't seen. You don't even know what's coming. 'cause
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm not
Trust me. It
finished
just
yet, so.
it just keeps getting twisted. And, yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
But my
It's-
kids have an obsession with Mr. Beast. They want to meet him.
Okay.
And so we got talking about all the famous people that live in Maryland, like around us.
Mr. Beast isn't.
No.
No.
But we were just talking about like, you know,
Okay.
It's quite a
famous-
list if I'm not
right.
wrong.
There's a lot of famous people that live in Maryland, but I was trying to tell them, because we do watch Wheel of Fortune at night, because that's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of a family-friendly show. And I was like, Pat Sajak.
Who's no longer on Wheel of
Oh,
Fortune.
that's
I
true.
know.
Yeah. But
But
he.
Yeah.
Seacrest took over, but
From
they need
Severna Park.
to drop Vanna's aging behind and put his
What?
Sajak, the daughter. She's been a part of
Oh,
it. She
yeah,
needs
yeah,
to be
yeah.
the new Vanna. Vanna's she needs to retire too. She's up there. What's she? 84, 85?
No.
She looks
She
great,
looks
but
damn good.
she looks great.
Yeah, she looks great.
Yeah.
But enough is enough. Like she's gonna die up there. We have to be realistic.
She
here.
has the best job in the
Yeah,
world.
well, so did Pat. And
I
he-
guess so.
I
he
mean,
finally gave up.
all good things come to an end.
Yeah. But I think his daughter should really take the reins and become the Vanna.
You think?
Yeah, she's.
So Pat's from here, like Severna Park.
He
Yeah, we
has a
used to
house in
check out his
Severna Park.
house from the water when we go
Okay.
out on my in-laws' boat.
It's a nice house.
It's a really nice house.
He's got like a wing of the hospital in
Yeah.
Annapolis.
Sajak
Bathroom.
Pavilion. Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah. People
Yeah, they've
love
done a
him
lot
around
of.
here.
Yeah, you'll see him in the grocery store and.
So were your kids excited to know that Pat Sajak Right.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were less excited. But
That's more
Anyway,
our
it
our
got
age
us
group.
talking about famous people from Maryland.
Is there
Yeah.
anyone else, I wonder?
There's a lot of people, actually.
Well, like who?
Well, Jada Pinkett Smith is from Maryland.
She's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's from the West Side.
Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken.
I've seen him many times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He still lives up in Harford County, I guess. Pretty sure that's where.
Yeah, he's got I know his property was for sale, but I'm sure he still lives in the area.
And Jada went to Baltimore School of the Arts.
With my boy Pac.
Yeah.
yeah,
She and Tupac were buds, apparently.
And yeah, Tupac was actually, he lived in Maryland. Actually, we have the address. It's 3955 Greenmount Avenue
That's right.
in Penn Lucy.
That's right.
We looked at pictures.
Yeah, we did. It's really sketch.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate looking house.
He was here from June of 84 through June of 88. So that's when he was with Pinkett, I guess, at the school. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
He'll tell you he was East Coast born, but West Coast raised. So he claims West Side.
Had to squeeze that in.
Had to, yeah.
Who else is from Maryland? Oh, Bill Belichick. Actually, I don't know if he's from Maryland.
Chappelle.
but
He
He
did
lives
live
in
Annapolis.
Chappelle was born in D.C.
Born in D.C., but grew up in Silver
Spring. Yeah, absolutely. In Montgomery County. Martin Lawrence,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he grew up in Landover. Jim Henson.
Really?
Muppets,
I
yeah.
didn't know
Lover.
that.
He was born in Mississippi, but moved to Maryland as a kid. He and his family lived in University Park, which is a neighborhood right next to the University of Maryland in College Park, and then they moved out to Bethesda.
Oh, I
And
didn't
Jim
realize
Henson,
that.
of course, invented
The Muppets.
Kermit the Frog.
I'm Kermit the Frog.
Oh, that was good, man.
It's all right. I got to work on it.
Who else is from
Edward Norton. I mean, he's a big old movie star. He's
Ed
great.
Norton is a huge movie star.
Who's that? What? Just kidding. I'm kidding.
One of my wife's best friends used to babysit Ed Norton
Really?
back in the day.
Oh, that's
Yep.
kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else is from Maryland? Is
Oprah and Montel Williams.
They are.
Well, Oprah, she's not from here. She got her start here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll give her a little credit.
Yeah, on WJZ
leniency.
Channel 13 with Richard Scher.
Nice.
Wait, was she a newscaster?
She was a newscaster.
Oh, yes.
And I
you're
bumped into
right.
her once at the old Westview Cinema on Route 40 in Catonsville.
Oh, yeah.
She was like covering the premiere of some movie. Might have been Star Wars or something. And I was a
Ooh,
kid and
nice.
I walked out and she was wearing a big white fur coat and it was totally accidental. I bumped into her.
Really?
She scowled at me.
I would have too.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I've known you this long and I didn't know that you've met Oprah.
My
That's
brush
kind of a
with
big
my brush
deal.
with fame.
All right, well, this poses a question. Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
Probably you.
Thanks, John.
I'm joking.
Oh.
I worked at a restaurant in Columbia,
Okay.
like all through high school and stuff. And at the time, there weren't many restaurants in Columbia, and so whenever there was a concert at Merriweather,
Oh, yeah.
they would come after the show for dinner. So I met Barbara Streisand. I met John Denver.
Okay.
I met a band called Flock of Seagulls
Okay. This
from the
this
80s.
Isn't sounding all that famous.
They were very famous. They
Really?
had like all these number one like new wave hits, and I ran. And anyway, me and my friends got into a fight with them. But that's a
Stop.
story for another time.
Oh, that's
I
interesting.
think I remember that story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to hear that story
Well, I
sometime.
can't. If that song ever comes on the radio, I can't listen to it.
Really?
Yeah, it's a thing.
What about you, Pete? Who's the most famous you've
he's
ever
not the most famous, but it was one of the coolest experiences I ever had. You ever heard of Jay Farrow?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was on SNL. Great comic. Christine and I, my wife and I, went to Baltimore Improv to see him. And actually, it's funny because it ties back into Tupac. He was doing a skit talking about Tupac and like singing the song. And I, of course, knew the song, so I was kind of like voicing along with it. He happened to look over and he's like, "What? Get up here." And he had me get up. He literally pulled me up on stage.
You told me this.
Yeah, and my wife doesn't even remember. This is what blows my mind. She doesn't remember. It was like the highlight of my life.
That's
She doesn't even
funny.
remember it.
Second to marrying.
Oh my, yeah, well, right. That's the next best day. But anyway, so he pulled me up and he was like, "We'll trade." What's Justin Timberlake? He was like, we want this one on our side. It was just this
Wow.
whole.
That's really cool.
And then I went to the restroom and all the guys were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is the coolest." Anyway,
That's
so
awesome.
he was amazing. That was a really cool experience. I love comedy and everything. Of course, Tupac too. So it was all those things at one. But my wife didn't remember. Like,
That's crazy.
no picture, no any. Like it was like the highlight
Really?
of my life. And yeah, well, you don't take pictures at comedy
Maybe
shows.
That's
But
true.
Maybe he's making this whole
no, I'm
thing up.
definitely not. I am definitely
could
not.
be.
Everyone there can attest to it.
So
who
I
doesn't have a
recently
gun.
met, I guess last fall, I met Tom Sandoval. I don't know.
Oh,
He's
God.
very famous to me, but from
He's on Traitors.
he is on Traders. He's on Vanderpump Rules, and then I met Michelle Obama. Actually,
Did you?
I did. I met her at the White House. She complimented my dress. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was cool. Who else? Oh, do you guys remember that show Full House?
Oh yeah.
I met Kimmy Gibbler, Andrea Barber.
Who's
her
that?
name.
Really?
Which one is that?
She was the annoying next door neighbor.
Okay, not
She used to
registered.
date a guy who lived in my hometown in Rockland, Maine.
Okay.
So,
I met our governor, Wes Moore.
oh yeah.
So did I.
That's right.
We were half hammered.
Yeah, so
So do you remember?
Yeah, I
it was
totally remember.
before
We knew he was
Wes.
going to be there.
It was before Governor Moore was governor, and my son was interning for him.
Oh, okay.
And when my son graduated from college and my youngest daughter graduated from high school, we had this big joint graduation party, and we invited Wes and his wife to the party, and they showed up late.
Yeah. So we'd had a couple beers.
I'd had a couple drinks, and I'm trying to make a good impression on this man who is now our governor. And yeah,
That's
he's
cool.
a really nice
Needless to
man.
say,
He's a,
John did not make a good. No.
I don't think I made a
It was-
bad
No,
impression.
you didn't. You
but
didn't.
he's a really good guy, and just the fact that he showed up. And,
Oh yeah.
You guys want to hear a funny story about Wes Moore? So my aunt gave me a book called The Other Wes Moore. Okay?
Yeah.
And I read this book and I was just fascinated by it.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good book. And then when Wes Moore started running for governor, I remember thinking, well, that's really weird. There's a Wes Moore in Maryland that wrote a book called The Other Wes Moore.
same
Maybe you
guy.
should look at the picture
Yeah,
too. I don't know.
same
the same guy.
Definitely same guy.
But anyway, yeah. So who else? You know who else is from Maryland? I know you guys know this, but Mike Rowe.
Mike
Oh, I
Rowe.
love Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. He met my best friend Amanda at the airport, and she asked him to sign her airline ticket, and he signed "You're a Dirty Girl."
That is
Wow.
fun. I would
that
frame
cool?
that all day long.
I know, right?
No, I
I'll
like
have to
Mike
ask her
Rowe.
if she still
I
has it.
remember when he would do like the Sunday morning show. He would visit new home builders. I think it was called the Sunday Showcase of Homes.
I
Is this
think you're
kind
right.
of before he got?
Oh,
Oh
this
yeah,
is what
because it
got
was
him there.
totally locally Maryland.
Oh,
Once you
Yeah.
hear his voice, you're just in.
Yeah, he's from Baltimore County.
okay. I didn't realize that.
And then I'm going to be dating myself, but my kids will hold it against me if I don't mention that Frank Zappa
Okay.
is from Baltimore. He was a musician, very talented musician with great songs like Why Does It Hurt When I Pee and Don't Eat the Yellow Snow.
Are you serious?
I swear. Yeah, I'll let you. I'll bring in some Frank Zappa for you guys to listen to. He's amazing. And then you guys have heard of the Mamas and the Papas. They
Oh,
were
yeah.
from-
Sure. Yep.
So Mama Cass was
yeah.
from here. And then do you remember the band The Talking Heads from
Yeah.
the 80s?
Yeah.
Yep.
David Byrne, the main guy, he's from Pete, I think it was Arbutus. I think he's from Arbutus
From the
or
Butte?
Halethorpe. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
But he's definitely from
That's
here.
cool.
Yeah.
Michael Phelps. He's kind of famous.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. Oh, Tom Clancy.
Tom
Yeah.
Clancy, The Hunt for Red October, and all
Yeah.
of those books.
And his
Absolutely.
video games too.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention some of the very important historical figures. Harriet Tubman.
Oh, yeah.
She's from the Eastern Shore, Dorchester County. One of the founders of the Underground Railroad. She did 13 missions rescuing 70 enslaved people and moving them out of slavery to the north.
Wow.
And then Frederick Douglass, he was an abolitionist, a writer, a statesman, an orator, great guy. He's from Maryland. He was born in Talbot County back in the day. And Thurgood Marshall,
Oh, yeah.
the first African-American Supreme Court justice from 1967 to 1991. He is a Baltimore son, and we have an airport named
We
after
do.
him.
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
UWI.
Cool. Well, that's really cool. Yeah.
Did we leave out Edgar Allan Poe?
Oh, Edgar Allan
think
Poe.
that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
there
it's a
must be
really
more
big
we're
deal.
But
forgetting.
he wasn't. He wasn't born here. He died here.
That still counts.
Yeah.
His museum and stuff.
Yeah.
The Ravens, the
The
Baltimore
Ravens are named
named
after.
after.
Absolutely.
Julia.
Louis Dreyfus.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was from D.C. and Montgomery County. From what I understand, she was born into some privilege.
Okay.
And then Julie Bowen, the mom on Modern Family,
Oh,
she's from Baltimore.
I need to watch that show.
It's a
I've never
great
watched
show.
it.
It's funny. And it's got a real estate thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people keep telling me that they can't believe I've never watched that because apparently some of the real estate stuff is pretty funny.
It is. There's
It
a
is.
character in it. His name is Cam. And Cam likes to dress up as a clown sometimes.
Okay.
And the clown's name is Fizbo, like for sale by owner.
Stop.
So I'm not
That's
sure
so
if they're,
funny.
I'm
That's
not sure
good.
if that's
I
an
like that.
intentional or
It
unintentional.
has
That's gotta
to
be intentional.
Yeah, but Julie Bowen, she's from Baltimore. I think it was her dad is a big real estate developer. She went to the Calvert School up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got quite a few famous Marylanders.
I'm sure we're forgetting. Oh, Travis Pastrana.
Oh, yeah. I've seen him out at a
Yeah.
bar before, too.
Have you?
He's very local still, obviously. Yeah.
The owner of the Ravens. I guess I consider him famous. He lives here locally.
Former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. She was from Baltimore. She grew up in Little Italy. She came from a huge political family. Her father, Tommy D'Alessandro, was the former mayor of Baltimore. Yeah.
Gosh, you're really up on your Maryland celebrities.
That's what happens when you get to be that old.
Well, I'm that old. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I'm sure we've forgotten some. So,
Absolutely.
to our listeners, if you think of someone we've forgotten,
Let us know.
Please let us
There's a lot
know.
we forgot.
yeah.
But we're going to leave some out there.
All right. Well, there's a really fun event coming up, and I'm going to try to drag you guys to it this year. Well, it's not just this year; it's every year. The Blue Angels.
Oh,
You don't have to twist our arm. We love the Blue Angels.
You got to see him from the boat, I'm telling you.
yeah.
From the water is the best.
I've never seen it from the water, and I
is
really want to.
Such an experience. Yep.
There's so many cool places to watch it. I mean, I've been all over the place. I know you guys have too. But this year it's May 21st.
Okay.
And I don't know. I've watched it. There's a retirement community. The name escapes me in Annapolis. I've watched it from there.
Okay.
Watched it from the Naval Academy grounds, but
Nice.
watched it from the Navy Bridge. That's a good place.
Oh, that's good. Yep.
Yeah.
Last time I saw it, we were on a rooftop on West Street in Annapolis.
Thanks to Beth.
Thanks
Yep.
to Beth, and that was great.
Yeah, she would always do parties because it was, what a great view.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
In the town I grew up in, Maine, there was nothing to do. It was very, just not a lot of excitement. But everyone got excited when the Blue Angels came to town.
Nice.
So I just have good memories of being
Oh
a
yeah,
kid, and
it's just such a good slice of Americana.
it really
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
Feel that in your chest.
Yep, absolutely.
One of the things we were going to talk about today is some fun things to do in Maryland, and with kids. And I have taken my kids to the Blue Angels since they were newborns.
Really?
Literally,
Wow.
would get the earmuffs on them and get them out there. I mean,
Oh, you
they-
had the head.
protection,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right,
No,
so-
not that bad.
So they didn't freak out. Good.
No, but
Good.
they. You know what's so interesting about the Blue Angels, and I wonder if this happens in other places when things go on in the community, but everyone pulls their kids out of school to go and watch
Oh,
it.
it's
Yeah,
such an
it's a big
experience.
deal.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really big deal.
Totally
so I've
agree with
always pulled my kids out, and we've all gone together. It's fun.
So you'll be taking them in May.
I will.
What else are you going to be doing with the kids?
Well, there's a bunch of fun. Actually, in the spring, there's a lot of fun things going on. There's Kinder Farm Park.
Speaking of spring, I heard we're going to be hitting the 70s.
Yeah, next week.
temperature next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't hear
Yep.
that.
That's awesome. Sorry to interrupt.
Well, then, if it's going to be 70, you have to take the kids to Kinder Farm Park. So, for those that don't know, it's a 280-acre park in Millersville. They've got animals, trails, sports fields.
It's a great park.
Yeah, it really is. And then, if it's a rainy day, I have got a couple of good, really fun rainy day kid options. I really like the Rainbow Play and Learn in Columbia.
Okay.
So it actually is a store that sells play equipment like
Oh, that's cool.
trampolines and, like swing sets and things like that. And so you can actually, they have them all set up in the store.
That's genius.
You reserve it ahead of time, pay a couple bucks. It's not much. I can't remember how much it is, maybe $12 a kid. And you go and play for 2 hours. And it's just indoors, like 6 or 7 trampolines. And then you can play on the equipment and try it out.
Do you know where in Columbia it's located?
No, but I'll find out. I mean, I've
Okay.
been there a million times,
Okay.
but I can't remember. It's in an industrial park
All
there.
right.
That's cool.
So that's super fun. And these are all things you can take your granddaughter to when she gets a little older.
We've already taken her to the National Aquarium.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do with babies.
And that's another rainy day thing to do for sure.
Post your picture of the aquarium with that guy's head.
Oh, I should. Yeah, that was the Florida Aquarium.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And if you're at the National Aquarium, you might want to swing around the corner and check out the Maryland Science Center, which is right there at the end of the harbor.
You
Also.
got to do both of those.
They have a really cool hands-on dedicated area for kids.
Yeah.
The water play and building, and they do a great job for kids.
They're both world class. I mean, they're both really good places to have fun, to learn a lot.
So those are some really fun, like rainy day things to do. Ely Oak Farm.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned that before in the podcast.
Yes. Yep.
That's a really cool place that used to be the Enchanted Forest.
Yeah.
So they took
They relocate. Right. Yep.
Yeah, they took a lot of the old attractions from the Enchanted Forest amusement park, which was off of Route 40 in Ellicott City, and moved it out to the farm.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool place to go.
There's
Like a train that goes through there. Yeah, I've taken my
And they've got like Cinderella's Castle and stuff like
cousin's
that.
kids there. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a good time.
I know Watkins Park in Upper Marlboro. That's actually a really, really fun
I think the
park.
first I'd heard about that was when you told me about it last week.
So it's actually a Wizard of Oz theme, but it's so clean and it's so well done, just really well maintained. And they have, the park itself, the playground is just incredible. But then they've got a carousel, they have animals, there's a train that takes you around the park.
Cool.
That's cool. I'm not familiar with
Mini
that one.
golfing.
No, not either.
Yeah. And then if you're in Montgomery County, there is Cabin John Regional Park. That's a really cool place too.
Have you been there?
I have. Playgrounds, camping.
I used to go. My mom used to take us there when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I used to go hiking when my sister lived in D.C.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
They have really great rock scramble hike. Like you put in work for that one.
Really?
I forgot what it's called, but it's an excellent hike. Like
Very cool.
you felt that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were younger.
Yeah, 9
So we
miles
could do
of
it.
hiking trails. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Okay.
cool.
Great hikes there. I remember
Just
that.
off the trail, if you're walking on the trail, they have this place called Locust Grove Nature Center, which is just a
Okay.
cool place to stop
Okay.
and
Nice.
learn about nature.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a good one.
So there's no shortage. One thing I really love about Maryland is there's just no shortage of things to do. There's always something.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, this is just a short list. I mean, I could go on and on about all the things to do.
You could spend years meeting all of the famous people.
Yeah.
And still not meet them all. And
You got
doing
the
all of the
mountains,
fun
you've
things.
got the bay,
All right, so you
got
have
the
to
ocean.
pick
Got the
one.
ocean? Absolutely.
You have to pick one person from this list to have a beer with. Who are you picking?
Oh.
Alive or dead?
Well, Tupac Shakur then.
Oh, there you go.
But Mike Rowe would be high on my list.
Yeah, Mike Rowe would be
like
high on my list. Chappelle would be high on my
Oh,
list.
Chappelle, yeah.
And Frank Zappa would be really high on my
Really?
list.
Even though he had that weird song?
He's just such an interesting guy.
Yeah, I'd have
Yeah.
to bump Chappelle up over Mike Rowe as much as I love Mike Rowe. Chappelle is,
Okay, I'm picking
comic
Oprah.
genius.
Are you?
Yeah.
Who'd you say?
I hope
Oprah.
she's nicer
Oh,
to you
yeah,
than
yeah.
she was to me.
Well,
Megan
get
may
out of her
not
way, John.
Yeah,
trample on
true,
her-
true.
On her expensive.
It wasn't a trample. It was more like just a brush by. And she looked at me like I was dirt.
I bet Edward Norton would be fun to have a beer with.
Definitely.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? All these Marylanders would be worthy of my
You can only
beers.
pick one. Martin Lawrence would be way up there
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
All right, well, we have talked about some famous Marylanders. We've talked about some fun things to do with kids. Don't forget about the Blue Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got lots ahead.
And we've got a special guest interview coming up next time.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
Don't
I'm
forget
looking
to
forward to
spring
that.
forward.
Oh, this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm
So our
looking
days are
forward.
going to be a bit longer. That'll
Yeah.
be nice.
Lose
Yeah.
that sleep. That's great. Just need to stop
Well, don't
it.
forget, if you think of anybody else famous, let us know. We would love to add them to our list. And then
Drop it in
also
the mailbag.
The mailbag.
That's right.
Yes,
Yeah. And please keep those questions coming for the mailbag.
The mailbag we had.
So you can find us on Maryland Living Podcast on Instagram and on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're on Spotify, Amazon.
Apple.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
So find us, give us a listen, and
Subscribe, like, share.
we'll talk to you all next time.